Couch Chats is a series of real, open, honest and raw chats with some inspiring friends and women I have had the privilege to meet along my entrepreneurial journey. So I wanted to share these casual interview chats with you all to leave you feeling empowered and inspired. I am your host, Jess Williamson, a serial entrepreneur and business coach. And today I am interviewing Brooke Vulinovich, the Instagram specialist and international keynote speaker, and the founder of the Social Club membership. I met Brooke over 4 years ago when we were both starting on our business journey. So today we are going to be chatting about what it takes to grow a successful business, all the sacrifices along the way, and tips on how you can make your own success as well. So let's get started. Hi guys, and welcome to my first ever couch chats, actually on a couch with
in real life.
In real life.
And I can touch her.
Yes.
Actually, am I allowed?
I think so. I think we hugged in the entry. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Don't tell anyone. All the people on the internet, don't tell anybody what we're doing.
So I am so excited though because we can finally have a chat in person for my Couch Chat series. So welcome everyone who's tuning in. A lot of you probably know Brooke Vulinovich, and she is the founder of the Social Club community. And the way I like to start our chats off is sort of like explain how do we know each other? Because I always wonder that, when people are getting interviewed, I'm like, how do they cross paths? How do they know each other? Like, I'm a very inquisitive person. I don't know if anyone else cares, but I think people want to know because I want to know.
That's so true.
So far I've been having, people that I've just met across my journey, which Brooke is one of them. Bit of a funny story. I was thinking this morning, how do I know you? And I remembered the very first year when I started my business, I approached a girl called Ashley to speak at one of her networking events for women in business. Mm-hmm. And I was petrified. I spent 3 weeks practicing for that 5-minute presentation. And here I am just jumping on live.
I know, it's crazy.
And Brooke was there at the event. So Brooke was probably one of the very first people I met in Women in Business, which is amazing. But I remember thinking afterwards, oh my gosh, I was sharing my Instagram tips and there's the queen of Instagram in the audience.
I was not.
I think I even said that to you though. And you're like, no, you did good. That was good tips.
Do you know what is so funny? It's so funny you say that. So that was your first speaking gig ever. Mm-hmm. So that was because I did that event, the next one, and that was my second speaking gig ever.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
And we both started around the same time.
I know.
So it's been amazing to watch your journey. And you've pivoted so many different times as well with your business.
True.
So I think that's really key though. As the world changes, you've pivoted and kept up with it. So that's why you've had so much success up until now. But what I want to share with you guys, and on these Couch Chat series, I don't want to go through the whole history of people's businesses because Brooke has been interviewed a million times. You guys can probably find her interviews all over her Instagram, or if you just Google her name, I'm sure it would come up. But what I really want to hear is more so the behind the scenes. So if people are just coming across you now, they see, over 20,000 followers on Instagram, a massive social club community of over 600 or?
We can go into that. But we just actually hit our 28th cut. Do you know what today is? Today's 2 years since my 100 members party.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
I know, we just realised this morning. But yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Amazing. Huge growth though. So people might think, who's this Brooke chick? She just popped out of nowhere in the past year or two, or maybe they're only just coming across you now. But I've seen you from 4+ years ago in 2016. So I'd love to know, what has it taken? Because I know, and we both know, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of tears, there's a lot of sacrifice. So what actually has it taken? What have you had to sacrifice along the journey? And I know once you get to a comfortable point, you can outsource and you can do this, but in the beginning, it's all you. And
a couple of key points. So it may shock people to know that not last Saturday, the Saturday before was my first full day off ever, in the last 5 years. So it takes sacrificing a day off.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, what do you mean by that? But just, you know, just to not have to check your email for one day, that's a day off, because every time you open your email, it's basically just full of issues. So definitely that. And just a refusal to give up. I don't know. I get asked this all the time, like, why are you ambitious? Why are you driven? And I'm sure you get asked the same thing. And I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer yet. I don't know why I'm super competitive with myself.
Okay.
And I always want to be better. Like, nothing's ever good enough. And I'll have a goal and I'll reach it. And then I'll be like, okay, what's the next goal?
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm fairly similar.
Where does it come from?
When I first was going to quit my job, people were like, won't you just sit on the couch all day? And I was like,
No.
that doesn't even cross my mind. Like, it's not a thing. Like, we've got a new idea. And then I've actually had to recently, and we just spoke about this when you arrived, now I'm strategically, like, bringing myself back. Like, what can I outsource? What can I, like, give myself more space? And for you taking your first day off, congratulations.
Thank you. I actually did a podcast at the start of this year with Steph Taylor. Do you know Steph Taylor?
Yeah.
And I think she asked me about, like, my goals for 2020, and I said it was my goal this year to officially have my first full day off. And it took 6 months in a global pandemic, but we got there.
And I think, you know, a lot of people are wired very differently, and, you know, some people prefer just, you know, having a relaxing time, whereas for us, we kind of thrive on stress, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but
I don't think it's stress. I thrive on being challenged.
Yes.
I love being challenged. So with challenge comes stress. So yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, but I guess there's learning, which is so rewarding.
That's right.
You know, having all of these people that you're helping must be super rewarding. You know, you couldn't just say tomorrow, guys, I'm going to shut shop because all of you can sort of figure it out yourself.
Yeah. Don't you guys know everything about Instagram now? See ya. Good luck. Could you imagine? Oh my God. I feel like even listening to this, half of my members will have a panic attack hearing that. Like, no, don't leave us.
It's a false alarm.
It's a false alarm. It's fake news. Fake news.
It's not happening. So you'll be right.
Yeah, you'll be right. Don't worry, guys. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, so like having your one day off, what else have you had to sort of sacrifice, or like what have been some of the behind the scenes? And I know you try and show on your stories and stuff a lot of behind the scenes, but like, just for example, and I know it because I travel a lot, you went to Dubai for like a day or two and then you're all the way back. That's a long time. Like, how do you manage all of that? Right, you know,
that's been interesting. I think something that a lot of speakers don't talk about enough, or I've not found the ones that talk about this, is yes, there's fantastic travel opportunities that come with this job, and they're awesome, and you get to see and do and go to places that you would never dream of. But you're also expected to then go on stage and give your best performance, because, you know, a lot of the time as well, you're getting paid a lot of money. You haven't slept. You've been traveling for like 14 hours. With the Dubai, did you see how, like, I had to check out of my room and then my new room wasn't ready? So you're, like, getting ready in a lobby area. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. You almost have to sacrifice feeling your best to be your best. Does that make sense?
But I guess on that topic, I know you're super passionate about your fitness, and that is something that you said you don't sacrifice. Like, people are like, what are you crazy doing on the treadmill in Dubai? Like, you're on a holiday, you've got to rest, you've just got off the plane with no sleep. But for you, you know, in order to show up and sacrifice your health for that 24 hours, for example, you've actually, it's like practicing for a marathon. So
yeah, I think people don't realize the amount of energy that it takes to keep a room full of 1,000 people engaged. So I train my body for those moments so that I have the energy to make it through. It's really funny. Like, I guess the more you do, the more you forget how much energy it takes. But I've like worked with some clients and some members that have done like their first webinar, and they've done like a half-hour webinar and been like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I need 4 days break. How do you do this every week? It takes energy. It takes a lot of energy. So I train to give myself more energy so that I can keep going, because you don't always get to rest, you know? But again, for some reason, I don't want to rest. I want something, but I'm not sure what it is yet.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
In addition to the, exercise and things like that, what is like one of your non-negotiables? Like what is something that you need for your mental health, to keep showing up? Because we can burn out, obviously.
Good question. So this is a pretty good non-negotiable. Unless I'm doing an event, 7 p.m. Do not contact me after 7 p.m. My phone goes on Do Not Disturb. It goes on my charger in my living room, and I don't look at it until about 8 o'clock the next morning. That's my non-negotiable. So, you can contact me, but don't expect me to respond. That's my non-negotiable. So, having that time at night so that I can switch off and start to wind down, because I'm hyped up all the time and I live in this constant state of, my normal, which is probably like hyped up to other people. So there's things I need to do so that I can wind down, so I can have a good night's sleep, so I can do all again the next day. Amazing. And if you're on your phone until late, you can't check out, you can't wind down when you live and run and work in a world that is 24/7. Like for me, I get up and I work during the day in Australia from sort of 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. But I clock off at 7 p.m. I don't start work again till 8 a.m. the next day. But because my clients are all over the globe, when I clock off, they're just waking up. Yep. So for every day, by the time I start work the next day, I'm almost always a day behind and I will never catch up. And at the start, that really stressed me out. It was definitely something that I struggled with and I got a little bit overwhelmed by. And then I just had to accept it. You either have local clients or you have international clients. If you got international clients, you just got to accept that you will never catch up.
Yeah.
You do the best that you can.
Exactly. I used to have that exact anxiety around that because a lot of my swimwear, for Ete Swimwear, a lot of my customers are in the US and a lot of influencers that I work are in the US. And I got to a point where my body clock was automatically waking me up at 2 a.m. because of the anxiety brewing in me, and I would then have to check my phone, and by checking my phone, that's resetting my brain, saying it's the morning, and then I couldn't get back to sleep, and I was just burning out every day, and I finally come to peace with it.
After how long?
4 years.
It's so true.
But there is so many added things that you don't even think about. Just the fact that you've got international customers and everyone's like, amazing, 28 countries, did you say? 28 countries, and that is a huge, huge achievement. So congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
But people don't see that behind the scenes, that maybe there's a bit of anxiety or a bit of stress brewing that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be behind when I check
imagine starting work every day and being behind. And imagine finishing work, being finished for the day. You've done everything you have to do and you would hope to start work the next day from scratch, but you start work behind every single day. That's something that I think a lot of people don't realise. But that's life. That's my choice. So I'm not going to complain about it either. And that's the other thing. There's a lot of times when I feel stressed or I feel anxious or nervous or whatever it is, and then I do just remind myself, well, you know what? You have one person to blame for the way that you are feeling right now. And if you don't like it, you started this business. If you don't like it, stop. Shut it down. Quit. Don't go on stage. Don't say yes to that next gig. Don't, just get rid of it. Start winding it back. And then I'm like, but I don't want to wind it back.
And does that immediately make you feel like more at ease?
Totally.
Totally.
When you acknowledge that you are the cause of your own problems, yes, it does make you feel more at ease. Or it makes you feel like I'm mentally insane.
Oh, no.
One or the two.
I'm very similar, and I think for me it just makes me feel like I'm in control. And I feel like a lot of my stress stems from when I'm not in control. But when you realise, actually, even if something's going wrong out of your control, you still are in control of what you can control. So, just acknowledging that doesn't mean you're insane. You're just it does help, though, when you look inwards.
Oh, totally. I completely agree. But, everyone gets caught up in this, crazy world of doing more and more and more and more followers and more this and more that, and then get stressed by what comes with wanting more. So you do need to just realise, well, that's your fault.
As plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Don't do it then. Simple.
No, but I think that's so powerful to share, though, because a lot of people are probably sitting there feeling like I'm the only one feeling like this right now.
You are absolutely, definitely not.
Yeah.
And if you're not yet, it just hasn't happened yet. It's coming.
Amazing. So I wanted to quickly touch on something that I noticed, and I'm sure other people might be wondering as well, but you know, you've just had the massive opportunity with American Express and being on their panel as an expert. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. Did you watch the interview at the masterclass? You can still watch it. Anyone can still watch it if you want to. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes, I'll definitely be watching that after this. I didn't know there was a replay. So, guys, there's a replay. If you
There's a replay, but you have to register.
Oh, okay. Easy.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, opportunities like that, and now you've got, you know, a larger profile, and the more opportunities you get, the more opportunities that probably come to you. But something that I did in the beginning, and I'm sure you did as well, is you actually, I mean, I did. I don't know if you did, but tell me if I'm wrong. I went out there and asked for opportunities.
Oh, all the time.
Like,
I still do it.
And a lot of my coaching clients, and they don't actually realize that you've got to go out there. So I just taught a lesson recently on press, and people wondering why I'm on Forbes, why I'm on this and that. And it's because I've either approached them or someone that I've hired has approached them, or like the very first speaking opportunity I ever had at Ashley's event, I asked her for that because I realized I need to get myself out there as a business owner. I was petrified. I stumbled over sorry, Ashley, I broke her clicker because I was so nervous and I threw it on the floor.
That's right. I remember that.
It was 5 minutes, but it was probably the worst thing ever, but also the best thing ever because it meant that I went there and I started somewhere. Yeah. But like, you've got to go out there and ask.
You do.
For things.
So American Express came to me. There's certain things that have either slid into my DMs or slid into my inbox that literally when they slide in, I'm like, is this a joke? I don't understand. So that was one of the ones that I was like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
But I started teaching because I went to one of Ash's networking events and everyone was sharing their biggest struggle in business, and I was the only person that didn't say social media. And then I approached Ash after that and said, could I teach a workshop to your network on what I did to grow my social media, because everyone was asking me at the event, who does your social media? I said, I do it. So I think because I started by asking, then basically anything I saw that I wanted to do, if they didn't ask me, I asked them. And I will also say, people say no. I still ask to do things and the answer is no.
Yep.
So you've just got to accept that people will say no. It's funny when they say no and then like a year later they come back and say yes. That's definitely where you're like,
And that shows why you have to treat everyone equally, right?
Totally.
Because someone might just be starting out, but you never know where they're at in a year's time. So, and I'm sure you remember if anyone was ever...
Oh, totally. So you've got to be your biggest, you've got to be your PR manager. You've got to be your marketing manager, advertising manager. You've got to be your agent. You've got to do it all for yourself and be okay with the fact that the answer won't always be yes, but the more you approach people, the more you will learn how to approach people as well.
Yep.
And it's all about just learning. There's no roadmap for how to do this. There's no one that's done it without a bump in the road or without any hurdles along the way. So the more setbacks you face, I know it sounds cliche and it sounds cheesy, but the more setbacks you face, the more you learn and the more you prepared you are for next time. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And something that I often share is that sometimes it is a numbers game, like with anything, you know. If you have 10 opportunities that you would love, you've got to contact them all. If you're hoping to land one, don't just contact one. You've got to contact all 10 because, you know, people find that it's maybe embarrassing to ask or this and that. But if you don't believe in yourself enough to ask, then how are they going to believe in you? So I guess in the beginning, you have to be your biggest cheerleader.
You do. Not even in the beginning. The whole time you have to be your biggest cheerleader. And there's something I wanted to say as well. What was it? Oh, when I started off and I was sort of learning about how to get into this world, and I actually do still hear it now, and it's funny now that I'm about to say it, but people used to always say, make it easy for someone to say yes to you. And I never fully understood what that meant. But now I'm in a position where people are approaching me and it's because I'm so busy that if you can make it easy for me to say yes, I'm going to say yes to you over the 10 other people that asked the same thing but made it complicated, and I was like, oh, this is too hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That is so true. I mean, I think I went to a Lisa Messenger workshop in Sydney and it was like a very small group and we got to spend the day with her, and that was the one message that she shared with us. So at the end of the day, I said, when are you coming to Perth? And I made it so easy for her, and I ended up being able to be the MC on stage with her because I made it easy for her to say yes. And
you've got to make it easy, because it's not about you, it's about the people or the person or the company that you're approaching. They're busy and they're getting hundreds, sometimes thousands of requests a day, exactly the same as yours. What will make you stand out is if you make it easy for them. That's the easiest way to make yourself stand out. Just make it easy for the other person.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
And that's something that I taught in my so in my membership I just teach all sorts of lessons, whatever people wanting to learn about. I'm not a PR expert, but I'll share with people what I did, and that's exactly what I shared. Give them your photos, give them everything.
Give them everything.
Get it all up front, and then if they want to even just take that and put it in the article, done. You have so much better chance of landing anything.
Totally. And even just like, you know, interviews and stuff. Rather than sort of being like, yep, I can do that. Be like, sure, I can do it on this day at this time.
Yeah.
Or I can't do it on this day at this time, because it's the back forward that just kills the deal. What is it? Time kills all deals. And it's so true. That goes for everything.
Yeah. I always give them two options. Do you want like Monday morning or Tuesday morning? Done. And then
it's just easy.
It's easier for me and you as well as them. Like, everyone wins.
Totally, everyone wins. It's a winning strategy.
Yes. So that is something I wanted to touch on. Is there anything you'd like to leave everyone with? Like any key tips or motivation?
Yes.
Okay.
There is. Did you see my rant last night?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
Okay, great.
So, starting a business is terrifying, right? And something that a lot of people don't realize is a lot of the people you would hope to support you when you start don't. And so you start this business, people in your friends and family that would hope to be the people who would support you because nobody else knows you yet, don't support you, right? Then you question yourself every day, going, have I made the right decision? Because the people who should be supporting me are not. So one of my social club community members yesterday got some very nasty comments from a friend on some stories that they had done. And this isn't the first time it has happened. It happens all the time where friends or family will see a friend or family start a business and start promoting it on social media and be like, what are you doing? Like, are you an influencer now?
And it's kind of like, who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? Totally. But what they don't understand is when you start a business, you have no money. And social media provides this amazing opportunity for you to be able to let the world know that you exist. Now, there's only one way to do that. It's to get on there and go, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. So if you have a friend or family member that's starting a business, don't make those remarks. Or if you've had those remarks made to you, know that you're not alone. Because I shared this rant last night, and this morning I spent an hour going through my DMs and the stories of people saying, oh my God, this has happened to me. This is what happened. I was so hurt, blah, blah, blah. And it's just awful that there is this, you know, a culture almost, and it's tall poppy, obviously, of not supporting people who are literally doing the riskiest thing, giving up a full-time income, giving up security to pursue a dream purely based on just wanting a different life. You know?
It is scary to put yourself out there.
It's terrifying. You know, totally.
Like, you don't wake up one day and just go, I'm going to do Instagram Lives every day and I'm going to be fine.
I wish people did, but no, they do not.
No, the very first live I did, I was like, hi, I'm Jess. I forgot what I was going to say. See you later. And that was it. But at least you're trying, right?
At least you're trying. So, like, especially at the moment with the way the world is, there's so much negativity. There's so many bigger problems going on. And for small businesses that have really suffered, especially during this pandemic, they don't need another problem of a friend or family member's uneducated opinion of what they're doing. You know, they don't need it.
And I found the best thing, if I'm going to share a tip off the back of that, the best thing you can do is go and find a tribe of people, like going to women in business networking events, going to places where people are like-minded, because they're the biggest cheerleaders.
And don't be afraid of that, because sometimes your old friends will be like, oh, who are your new business friends? And you're like, well, these are the people that like and comment on my posts that you don't. That you just look at and don't comment and don't like and don't say anything about. So don't be afraid to have, that business network, because you bloody need it. And you need it.
You can learn from each other as well. Just like even if you're feeling a bit down about it, you know, it's kind of hard for other people to relate to.
Totally.
Even just the stuff you shared at the beginning, you know, in a normal job, you're like, see you later, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, bye.
So, just having that network and that support system is like,
it's really important.
So awesome.
Yeah.
So if you can, wherever you are in your city, find some people, or even just reach out to them on Instagram, wherever you need to.
Someone just said, Nikki, I had a group of women in my community stop talking to me because I started Instagram and a blog. Like, isn't that shit?
Like, why? Because you're doing something to better yourself.
Totally. It's so shit.
Yeah.
It makes me very disappointed in the human race. And I know it comes from places of insecurity and jealousy, but, you know, again, when you're just starting off, it really hurts. So be nicer, world. Here's Tanvi, so true. Friends I've had for years completely ignore that I've got a business of my own. Yeah, you're not alone. No. Don't worry. You're not alone.
It's the same for everyone, I think. It's just, they just don't understand maybe, and maybe they mean well, but maybe they just don't know how to approach it. But honestly, like, if you don't have a business, a simple like, a simple comment, a simple... simple check-in. Yeah. Really proud of you. Really proud of you for quitting your job and going after your dreams. Even just going, I'd never fucking do it, because that sounds like a terrifying thing, but really proud of you for doing it. It can really make a difference to somebody's day. Yeah. So important. Awesome.
Nikki, but I have the most beautiful friendships now. Yeah, and that's true, and I'm the same. Like, I've got amazing friends from before I started my business, and I've got amazing friends that I have literally met that even sometimes Dom will be like, how did you guys actually meet? I'm like, Instagram. And he's like, what? That's so weird. I'm like, well, it's not really. You know?
Like, you have friends all over the world. You've never actually met.
Totally.
But you feel like you literally talk to them daily. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And you do forget. Like, how do I even know you?
Totally.
You liked my post once.
I know. But it's social networking. Yeah. So it's just a different way to meet people. Yeah. You know?
Exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brooke. There was so much amazing tips in there. So I hope you all enjoyed that. You guys can find Brooke at the Social Club community. If you want to check out her Instagram tips and learn how to really master this platform, and also Brooke Vulinovich.
Yes.
Instagram. And then you can probably find everything through there. But yes, make sure you give her a follow, but I'm sure all of you probably already are. But if you're not, go check her out, because she does share some awesome stuff on her content. So thanks to everyone for tuning in, and I hope you have an amazing day.
Bye, everyone.
That was so much fun, finally getting to have someone on the couch with me, and I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did. Please do subscribe, and please screenshot and share on your social media, and tag myself at Jess.Williamson8 and Brooke at Brooke Vulinovich. Please also make sure you jump on Instagram and watch the IGTV so you can watch this interview live as well. And you can find that on my Instagram at Jess.Williamson8. Have an amazing day.